What's up, everybody? A little over a year ago, I was super stoked to find a Terminator series set that was based on a brick-style construction system. And I got it, and it was a big set. It came with a bunch of Terminators and a bunch of hunter-killers and things, and it was terrible. Absolutely deplorable in quality. From a company called Best Lock, and I've still got my review for that. You can find it, just search for Jang Bricks Best Lock Terminator. I threw away most of the set because it really was not worth even donating, because the quality was so poor. It was just going to give sadness to kids it was donated to. So most of it I happily and proudly discarded. However, I did keep the Terminator figures themselves, and here they are in the middle, and here we are in 2015, and Bloks has released their Terminator series, and I thought it would be funny to see the difference between Best Lock, aka Worst Lock, and Bloks. I think most people would agree that the Bloks one on the left looks better than the Best Lock one on the right, but to be honest, I didn't think the Best Lock one looked terrible. It actually probably has better proportions with the size of the head. The Bloks one is oversized, and that's just part of how they proportion their figures across their line. The level of detail is significantly better with the Bloks one. The Best Lock one goes for more of the skeletal kind of overall motif, which I thought actually worked out okay. You know, just in general, it's not that terrible to look at, to be honest. Where things got terrible is when I started actually touching the figure. So therefore, while I was putting it together on the Best Lock's side, I think I picked the best one out of the line here, because the parts would stay together long enough to show them. But these arms pull off with the greatest of ease. And actually, when I went to grab these, actually I'm going to go right back to the bag right now where I have the rest of those Best Lock Terminators. I'm just going to pull out what I got there, and this is just how they end up being very quickly. The limbs just fall off, and that's just bad. The attachment to studded plates and things with the feet is just not deep enough and doesn't really hold on that well. Some of them kind of had a little bit of melting that happened to actually, almost accidentally it seems, cause their feet to hold pretty well, but a lot of them actually don't. The hands don't hold things very well, but they do have a little bit of articulation here. I mean, you can move the shoulder up and down. You can also rotate this whole thing. Just don't do it too much. Grr, arg. Yeah, this is actually one of the better hands right here, but yeah, okay, you could do that. You could rotate this thing at the waist. That's good. And you could go forward and back. So that's actually pretty respectable. You're not able to do anything at the knees here because those knees are just so thin. They didn't put any joints into them. Thankfully, they're so thin as it is, though. They probably break a little bit too easily. The weapons are very forgettable. Their whole line of minifigure accessories was pretty terrible as well. But it's mostly just the durability. And you'll see in my review, if you've seen it, or if you go back and see it now, that the problem extends into the bricks as well, which was actually even worse. But just comparing these side by side in terms of how you can actually touch these things and move them and mess with them and stuff, you can be rough with these. You know, this is not gonna come apart easily. You can pop things off intentionally, and you know, kids can be too rough with them and can knock things off and such, but for the most part, this is actually staying together. This is built like a really small action figure. They call them micro action figures. A lot of articulation here, way more than you got with this guy over here, but it's mostly just overall level of quality and what Bloks would accept as a product to put out there on the market. Bloks quality was at one time pretty bad, and they got a well-deserved bad reputation as just a poor quality, another knockoff of Lego, which itself was originally a knockoff of Kitty Craft. But they started to do better. Before the the Mattel purchase was announced back in late 2013 and such, they were improving dramatically. It feels like since the Mattel buyouts, they've kind of just lost a little bit of that. I'm seeing some more reports of quality issues that are showing up in the community in general. I personally have started to see a small number of them, nothing compared to the way that it was before. But Mega Bloks is still just so far above, so far beyond the level of quality of many of the other brick-based construction brands out there. And this Best Lock thing, that was just a shame, just a travesty. But anyway, I kept the Best Lock, Worst Lock figures to be able to compare them to other things in the future. And a viewer reminded me that the Mega Bloks ones are out, and I said that I would do it, so here it is. If you have any comments that you would like to share, feel free to down in the comment section. I'll be talking to you again very soon.